Hi guys, Keith here. Welcome to the video. Do you ever wonder what a Subway $5 footlong and Disney parks have in common? That's what we're talking about today. Well, not really Subway, but anyway, we're talking about the prices of Disney parks. All right, everyone, let's get into it. Roll that intro. So anyway, before we begin here, just want to say if this is your first time finding us, welcome. Consider hitting that subscribe button for us. We'd really appreciate that. We'd love to have you as a part of our community here. We do travel videos usually every Wednesday. And every other Saturday we do these podcasting videos, which is just a summary. And you'll have to check the links below for all the actual links to the podcast. But we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play. So you can find us at all of the major podcasts. But anyway, so we do these summary videos. It's just like a quick little hitter here for you, just to give you a little tease of what we have in our podcast this week. And this one's a hot button issue. If you look at the Disney forums, any of them really nowadays, you see everyone's complaining about the ticket prices and things like that, and saying, "Oh, yeah, it's pricing me out of a Disney vacation." And in the podcast, we take a deep dive into this and our thoughts behind it. But just sort of from a 5,000 foot view, I led off with the whole Subway thing. Well, what does that have to do with what we're talking about today? Well, in my econ class back in college, 1 or 2 years ago, whatever, it's fine. They mentioned, Subway as an example. They said, the reason that there's no more $5 footlongs is because restaurants need to raise their menu prices at least 5 cents a year to keep up with inflation and just the cost of doing business. Well, what does that have to do with the park tickets, you might be asking, right? The park tickets is just sort of one factor here in your vacation. And that specific one is more to cover the operating costs and things like that. So Disney doesn't make a huge margin on the park tickets. But Keith, where are they making their money? Well, have you noticed things creep up in the parks, the cost of ears, for example, is slowly creeping up to almost $30. In some of the premium ears, it is over $30, like the ear hats or whatever. And they're making it up at the restaurants. They're making it up at parking. How much does it cost to park at Disney, right? They're making it up in the resort costs and things like that. It's all money in the bank for Disney. So when people attack the ticket prices, this is when yes, it's high. Yes, it costs $400 or more to go to a Disney vacation or Disney park for a single day ticket. But if you look at the single day tickets, for example, to Kings Island, which is around where I'm from, it costs $73 for someone 3 and up to go to the park for 1 day. And I can almost guarantee that 1 day at Kings Island is not as magical as that 1 day at Disney. Because Disney pushes the envelope as far as it goes with the theme park experience, right? The theming's amazing. It's far beyond anything you'll even find at Universal. The cast members are great. It's just a different experience. And you do pay a premium for this experience. But that's not where they're making their money, right? Sort of started a few years ago, several years ago, I noticed the prices of the Disney cruise lines creeping up there. And I was well, what the heck is going on, Disney? And what it is Disney's looking for a certain type of clientele, right? And they want that clientele to have the best possible experience. And that's why they switched over to this dynamic pricing that they have, where certain times a year it's more expensive and certain times a year the annual passes are blacked out and things like that. They're trying to give these people that are willing to pay the premium a better experience, because honestly Disney has been getting more crowded and more crowded and more crowded. So as a form of crowd control, a little bit, they instituted these dynamic pricing. So now it's just more expensive to go to the park, whereas before it's a bad experience because you're oh no, the park is closed, it's at capacity at 10 a.m., I can't get in the park and I paid all this money, I'm mad, right? Well, they got rid of that, sort of. And those people that are in the parks now, generally have more money to spend, right? So they're spending it on merchandise, they're spending it on special dining experiences, they're spending it on like tours and things like that, VIP access to the Magic Kingdom. Like, why do you think they're putting Club 33 at every Disney park at Walt Disney World and charging you $33,000 just to get in for 1 year? That's the type of clientele that Disney's going for, because they want them to spend the money on the merchandise, the experiences, and things like that, because that's where Disney's making their money. So are they pricing people out? It's not really the tickets, because if you go for an extended stay, you can get your tickets for as little as like $50 a day, right? Where you'll notice it, and where they're sort of creeping you out, and where they started it out with the cruise line, is they're edging up the prices of like things like the resorts and dining and stuff like that. So have they priced everyone out? I don't think so. And this is kind of like what we hit on in the second half of our podcast. We sort of like take a deeper dive into like the different things and stuff like that they're making their money on and whatnot. But we also give you ways to save on your Disney vacation, because there is ways to save and there is ways around this. So you just gotta be smart when you book your Disney vacation. If you're interested in learning more or hearing our thoughts and taking a deeper dive into this, I don't want to trigger anyone here, but because I know it's like a hot button issue, but it's just an interesting topic, and it's one that's really out there right now, it seems like, in the Disney sphere. So we thought we'd weigh in and give our 2 cents. But we also wanted to, like I said, make sure that we gave you some ways around it and ways to save money and stuff like that. So make sure you check out those podcast links below, and you can listen to the full podcast there. Again, we're on all the major platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. Also down there in the links are ways to support the channel, like buying the sweet merch. We also have Patreon, so if you're interested in like a monthly donation or whatever, we have different levels of Patreon and stuff like that with different offers and benefits. Check that out. But again, all those links are below. All right, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace and love.